Okay, today let's talk about Freud, and especially let's talk about how he is not relevant anymore. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not really a fan of Freud. I think he was an idiot. Yes, I know he had some valid points, and I will talk about this today as well. But then there are times where he really didn't. If you are a fan of psychoanalysis or Freud or any of his work, then you will probably hate me for everything I'm about to say and just for dissing Freud. But as a student in psychology and someone who's been really into psychology for a long time, all the stuff I've read on my own and all the stuff I've learned about Freud, I really do not understand why people still favor him. And I think he isn't relevant anymore. Now, this is my opinion, of course. I'm not saying you have to agree with me. You don't have to judge me just because we differ. And you know, when it comes to psychology, everyone has a different perspective. So for instance, I am studying to be a neuropsychologist. So in my opinion, the only psychological facts that are real are the ones that can be found in our brains. So that is my opinion on how it works. Because I'm going to be honest with you, when it comes to psychology, there are a lot of things, theses and theories made up just for the money. So, hey, I'm a psychologist 50 years ago, I need money, I have no idea what to make up, okay, we're going to make this up. And in reality, a lot of those theories don't really work. They don't really apply to anyone, at least not anymore. I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not saying just about Freud, I'm talking like in general. And so when you read about psychological theories, just take them with a grain of sand, okay? Grain of sand? Pinch of salt? How do you say it? Yeah, you just you know, don't believe in everything, because a lot of them are either not relevant anymore because we've changed too much as human beings, or they were just made up for to get money from the universities in the first place, and they weren't real in the first place. When it comes to Freud, I think that some of these things aren't relevant anymore, and some of his things were never really relevant, but that is my opinion. So the things that are, in my opinion, still relevant are his coping mechanisms. You might have heard about these. There's projections, where you project your feelings on someone that you cannot have. For instance, this is an example, onto someone else. So in a very, very, very shortened, easy version, there is you, and there is a guy you like, and there is your best friend who's also a guy, and you can't have that guy, for instance, so you're going to project your emotions into your best friend onto. Yeah, this is a very shortened and easy version, it's not really what it's about, but I'm just trying to get you to understand, those of you who are not interested in psychology, because not everyone has to be interested in psychology. So, yeah, generally stuff like that, and I think that the coping mechanisms are still effective. I think people used to have the same coping mechanisms, and we still do use a lot of those coping mechanisms today. I do not want to spend the whole video talking about them, because Freud made theories on a lot of coping mechanisms. I think there's like at least 20 or something. So, yeah, that would be a long video, and I don't see the point of it. But if you'd like, read up on Freud's coping mechanisms. Also, I'm not sure if that's how it's called in English, because I'm translating it into English from the language that I study at university in, because psychology in English in my university was just too damn expensive, so I didn't study in English. But this is kind of what it's called in this language, so I'm guessing it's something like coping mechanisms. So please read up on them. They are actually interesting, and they are very valid, and they are still used, in my opinion. Now let's get to the tea. Some of you who do know a bit about Freud might know Freud was a pervert. Now, I'm not saying he raped people or anything like that, or had some weird fetishes, because honestly, I just don't know. My point is that most of his theories were around the penis and sex in general. So for instance, one of the things that really pisses me off about Freud is the woman's envy of the penis. So in Freud's opinion, women felt worse, or they felt like they weren't as good as men, which, you know, in that day and age, which was like nearly 100 years ago now, I think, in that day and age was true. Women did feel less valuable because that's what they were taught, and I think in this day and age, a lot of women still kind of do feel a little bit less valuable. So in Freud's opinion, the reason why women felt less valuable was because they didn't have a penis. And they were jealous of men having a penis. And that was why men were more valuable than women, because they had a penis and we women do not. I don't know about you ladies, but I really feel a huge need to have a penis. I don't think that I will become a better human being in any way. I don't think I will be more smart or more beautiful or more just funny or anything if I had a penis. I really don't. So that is one thing I think that is really not relevant anymore, and I think this is something that was never relevant. I just think Freud really liked talking about penises and about sex in general. The other thing that really pisses me off is that, well, those things don't piss me off, I just find them hilarious, is that Freud thought that a lot, if not most of our problems were connected to sex. So if you were miserable, it was definitely because you were sexually frustrated. And, okay, let's be honest, some people could be sexually frustrated and that could be the reason why they are sad. For a lot of women, for instance, reaching an orgasm is very hard and takes a very long while. So, for instance, a lot of women could be frustrated because of that. But to say something like that, that's the reason why you're unhappy in your life, and that's the only reason, and that's what you gotta change, and then you're gonna be happy and fulfilled, and everything will be better because you will be sexually fulfilled. Now, I think that ain't right. Unless the reason for your unhappiness is because you've been molested or raped, but I don't think that's what Freud was talking about. Well, unless that's the reason, in which case I am really very sorry, and please seek some help because that is traumatic. If that's not the case, then I don't think that being sexually frustrated is the reason for all unhappiness and misery in somebody's life. Next thing, also sex, because our buddy Freud never talked about anything but sex. But sex? But sex. Just kidding, he did, but most of the things were sexual. Is dreams. As some of you might know, a lot of Freud's dream theories were based on sex. So this is a thing from neurobiology, which we didn't know back then, but we know now, is that he can't really interpret dreams the same way. What is a dream? A dream is your brain processing the information you had throughout the day, and it becomes a dream. And I've noticed this in myself. You can try noticing it about yourself. So for instance, I've been thinking about my grandma. I've been thinking about Dwayne Johnson because there was some new news coming up with him, and I talked to my grandma, for instance, and then at night I had a dream with Dwayne Johnson and my grandma. I'm not saying it always works like that, but if you start rethinking your dreams and think about the things you've done the previous days, you might see a lot of symbolism in your dreams and a lot of things that happened during the day. So basically your dreams are what happened to you during the day, and thus we cannot interpret the dreams because everyone is different, everyone's psyche is different, everyone's days are different, and everyone interprets everything differently. So there is just no one way to interpret everyone's dreams. You can find out one way to interpret your own dreams, but you cannot find out a way to interpret everybody's dreams correctly. Do you understand what I mean? Now, as I mentioned, this is a neurobiological fact, this is something new, so Freud didn't know it back then, but nevertheless, every fucking symbolism in Freud's dream book was connected to sex. So for instance, I think a fireplace was the woman's womb, a snake or a knife was the penis, water was childbirth, and I don't remember the symbolism for sexual intercourse, but there was a lot, and there were like different symbolisms for different sexual intercourses. There was a lot of sex in Freud. So I don't know if he was just a perv, or maybe he was the one who wasn't sexually satisfied, because, another thing, Freud, I don't know how this is called in English, but in my language, it's not really my language, but in the language of the place I live in, it's called a Freudian mislip, I guess, something like that. And it's when you think about something but you say something else, and then someone says, oh, that's a Freudian mislip. Because Freud thought that if you say something, but for instance sexual, and then say, oh no, it wasn't supposed to come out like that, I thought of something different. Freud said that, I know what you're really thinking here, you dirty perv, and you're just saying that, it comes out so I can know, but now you're saying that that's not what you meant, but I know you're lying. You're lying, you little bitch. Yeah, another thing. Like, not everything we think of is sexual. What a shocker! We think about different things in our life than sex. I don't know whether he was just a perv or whether this is the case, that he just thought about sex all the time and that's why he judged others of having sexual problems because he had them or something, I don't know. Although he had 8 kids, so I don't think he had sexual problems. It might have been fetishes, I don't know. But I just think that a lot of his theories, and those are just some, okay? So like, don't even get me started. This video is long enough as it is, and I just didn't want to, make it too long. So yeah, that is why I think Freud is hella not relatable in these times, and I don't think he ever was. But he's definitely not now anymore. So before you believe Freud, read into it. And think whether all that sex is really that important in your life. Sex is important, but whether it's so important that you're miserable and you want to kill yourself because you don't have it. Thank you for watching. I am Vicky. I am here every week and I talk about how I hate people. Please like, comment something nice to, even out the hatred for Freud. Please don't judge me if you have a different opinion of Freud. I accept other people's opinions. This is just my opinion why I think he's not important anymore. And subscribe to my potato face, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!